Okay, good morning students. From today we are going to start with the next chapter, that is what? Human physiology. We are going to study the next chapter, next concept from today onwards, that is what we are going to call the unit. We are going to study the next unit from today, that is what? The unit human physiology, unit 5. Unit 5 human physiology. Unit 5 human physiology. In unit 5 human physiology, we are going to study different physiology. In the sense, all of you come across the when we were discussed about the invertebrates ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆ ಇನ್ವರ್ಟಿಬ್ರೇಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಮುಂದೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ದೇ ಯು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕ್ರೇನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ನೀವು ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ನಾನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕ್ರೇನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕ್ರೇನ್ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ರೈಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಬಿಲೋ like this. Dr. Crane atandaga, now this D for digestive system, this R for respiratory system, this C for circulatory system, again this R for what we are going to call that one as a reproductive system, this is E for excretory system, this is N for nervous system, and again this is E for endocrine system. This many physiology we are going to study. Okay. So, in this particular unit, unit 5, human physiology. In unit 5, human physiology, what else we are going to study? That is the digestion and absorption. That is the digestive system. Digestion and absorption we are going to study in this particular unit. Afterwards, breathing and exchange of gases. That is breathing and exchange of gases. That is the respiratory system. Second one. Third one, we are going to go for body fluid and circulation. I reckon here body fluid and circulation. Today we are going to start discussing about that, and that is nothing but circulatory system, body fluid and circulation. Okay, excretory products and their elimination. In the sense, this is excretory system, excretory product and their elimination. You are going to study locomotion and movement. I have not written here. Locomotion and movement I have not written here, but that is one extra thing we are going to study in a human physiology. Then we are going to study about the neural coordination and means neural control and coordination, that is the nervous system. And last one is chemical coordination, and what we are going to study, that is chemical coordination and integration, that is the endocrine system. And next year, in second year, we are going to study the reproductive system, 2 chapters. And one adding here in this, these are what I told you, a simple way how you are going to remember the different physiologies. Okay, those are digestive system, respiratory system, or digestion, respiration, circulation, reproduction, excretion, nervous system, nervous in the sense what we are going to think and all, endocrine system, etc. So, in today's class, what else we are going to start with? We are going to start with the body fluid and circulation. So, body fluid and circulation in the sense, our body, it is made up of a cell, tissue, organ, etc. If you are going to think about the function of these cells or tissues, ಆ cells ಮತ್ತು tissue ಕಾರ್ಯ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಒಂದು O2 ಬೇಕು. O2 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿದೆ? ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದರ್ ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇದೊಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಸೆಲ್ ಇದೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಈ ಸೆಲ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೆಲ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನು ಬೇಕು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? O2 ಮತ್ತು ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ nutrients are required. ಇದರ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ನಮ್ದು ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಒಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೇನು ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, O2 ಮತ್ತು ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಆನಂತರ ಇದೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ನ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಥವಾ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ O2 ಮತ್ತು ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ತವು. ಆನಂತರ ಏನಾಕೈತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಹೌ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒನ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಟು ಅನದರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಆರ್ ಒನ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಅನದರ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ. For that we required what we are going to call it as a fluids. Means organism require the fluids which can transfer these essential nutrients and O2 and waste product from tissue to the outside, in the sense from a body to the organism body to the outside. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ it require a body fluids. Okay, and the circulation, in the sense how they are going to circulate throughout the body, that is important. What is going to happen? You all studied a different group of animals have evolved different methods for this transport. Simple organisms like sponges and coelenterate circulate the water from the body. I told you. Now, ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ coelenterate ಮತ್ತೆ what first porifera. There how these O2 and essential nutrients are going to circulate within the body ಅಂತಂದಾಗ simply the water is pushing into their body and they are coming out, and through that water only the O2 and the essential nutrients are going to circulate throughout the body. ಆಗ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಆಸ್ಟಿಯಾ, ಸ್ಪೊಂಗೋಪೋಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಪಿಕ್ಯುಲ್ಸ್ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು. Okay, so this is about what the body means circulation in a lower organism. If you are going to go for a complex or a what we are going to call that as a higher organisms, that time you are going to get the special fluids within their bodies to transfer such materials like blood. Blood is most commonly used body fluid by the most higher organism. Blood it is one of the most commonly used fluid, one of the most commonly used fluid in a higher organisms, including humans for their purpose. Another body fluid is to come, that is lymph. So we are going to discuss regarding these two. What I told you, whatever the organism is going to function, whether it is multicellular or unicellular, for the what proper functioning of a cell or a tissue or an organ or whole organism, that organism needs O2 and other nutrients for its different activity. And another one thing is the organisms, they need to transfer or circulate these O2 and essential nutrients throughout the body. So what is going to happen? For that they require a body fluids. And you all studied regarding the invertebrates. In invertebrates, what we have discussed in the sense from the porifera to the mammals, all the organisms are possess the different kinds of body fluids. For example, how the O2 and nutrients are going to circulate in a lower organism, in the sense through the water only. The water is going to pushing into the body, and there it is going coming out, and through that these all the different kinds of nutrients and O2 is going to circulate throughout the body. But when we are going to discuss about the higher organisms in the sense ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಕಾಡೇಟ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊರಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂದಾಗ blood is important fluid. Blood is most important fluid which is plays an important role to circulate the O2 and essential nutrients from one part to the another part of the organism, or one tissue to the another tissue of the organism, or one cell to the another cell of the organism, another cell of the organism. Okay, so this is found the most important body fluid is blood in most of the higher organisms, including human. Another one, the body fluid is lymph. It is also help to transport the certain substances. And in today's class, or the particular chapter, we are going to study in detail regarding the blood and lymph, etc. Okay, and now we'll start with the side heading under the body fluids and circulation. That is first body fluid. Okay, that is mostly found in all the higher organisms. That is blood. ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾದೆಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ರಕ್ತ. ಈಗ ನೀವೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಐ ಹೋಪ್ in lower classes you all are studied the component of the blood in the sense plasma and formed element. Okay, formed element ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ನಾಗ ಎರಿಥ್ರೋಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಲ್ಯೂಕೋಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವು. ಎರಿಥ್ರೋಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ RBCs, WBCs, red blood cells, white blood cells. Okay, so these are all things you are I think you are familiar, you are studying in a lower classes. ಕನ್ನಡ ಹೇಳೋದಂದ್ರೆ ರಕ್ತ ತಂದಾಗ ರಕ್ತ ಕಣಗಳು ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು, ಬಿಳಿ ರಕ್ತ ಕಣಗಳು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಂಪ ರಕ್ತ ಕಣಗಳು. Those things only we are going to what repeat once again here, but in a proper manner. Okay, I think ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಕಲಿಬಹುದು ನೋಡಿ. Now first we are going to go for the studying the definition of blood. What is blood in the sense? Blood is a special connective tissue. Special connective tissue. Blood is a special connective tissue of a fluid matrix. Special connective tissue of a fluid matrix. Sorry, of a fluid matrix. Of a fluid matrix, plasma and formed element. Fluid matrix, plasma and formed elements. Okay, blood, it is a special connective tissue of a fluid matrix, plasma and formed element. This is what the definition of blood. Now we are going to go for next. In a blood is consist of plasma. Okay, what is going to happen? The plasma, it is a straw colored structure. This plasma, it is a straw colored what? Viscous fluid. Straw colored viscous fluid. Straw colored viscous, VISCOUS. Viscous fluid, and it is nearly consist of 55% of the blood. 55% of the blood is plasma. 55% of the blood is plasma, and plasma is straw colored viscous fluid. Straw colored viscous fluid. In between this plasma, okay, this plasma consists 90 to 92% of water. 90 to 92% of water, and proteins are contribute 6 to 8%. 6 to 8% of proteins. 6 to 8% of proteins. Understood? So I hope it is clear. What blood is consist of fluid matrix, plasma and formed element. Now, and this is a special type of connective blood, is a special kind of connective tissue which is consist of what I told you, fluid matrix, plasma and formed element. That is the definition of blood. And now we are studying the plasma. Plasma, it is present in a blood, and 55% of the blood, it is made up of a plasma, and the plasma is straw colored viscous fluid. Plasma is straw colored viscous fluid, and in plasma you are going to get 90 to 92% of water and 6 to 8% of protein. Plasma nahi. Okay. After this, what we are going to study, whatever the proteins are there, these proteins are of different types. What are those proteins? Fibrinogens, Fi, BRI, NOGENS, fibrinogens, globulins, albumins. Okay, so these are the different kinds of what we are going to call that one as a proteins which are present in a plasma. In the sense, plasma it is contribute 55% for the blood, and within the plasma you are going to get 90 to 92% of water and 6 to 8% of protein. And what are the different kinds of proteins of those? Hydrogen, globulins and albumins are the major proteins. These all are the what? Major proteins are found in plasma. Major proteins are found in the plasma. Okay. Now, next, what is going to happen in the sense? These proteins, how they are functioned in a blood in the sense? Fibrinogen needed for clotting or coagulation of the blood. It helps in blood clotting or coagulation of blood. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಹೆಪ್ಪಗಟ್ಟೋದು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಹೆಪ್ಪಗಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ fibrinogen ಬೇಕು. Fibrinogen it is needed for the clotting or coagulation of the blood. Next one is globulins are primarily involved in a defense mechanism of the body. These are involved in defense mechanism of the body. Globulins are involved in a defense mechanism of the body. Defense ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿನ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬರುವಂತ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ ಇಂದ ಕಾಪಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾವು ಹಿಂಗೂ ಅನ್ಬೋದು, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಇಮ್ಯೂನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಓಕೆ, and albumins helps in osmotic balance. These are helps in maintaining means osmotic balance maintaining. Osmotic balance maintaining in the sense what? Plasma also containing the small amount of minerals. These are the proteins. And next one is this plasma contain small amount of minerals too. Okay, what are those small amount of minerals in the sense? Like Na, Ca++, Mg, Na plus, Ca++, Mg++, okay, etc. And also it is consists glucose, amino acids, lipids. In the sense what I told you, plasma consists water, plasma consists protein, plasma consists small amount of minerals, then it consists of glucose, amino acids, lipids, etc. Glucose, amino acid, then lipids, etc. It is understood. So this is about what, and these are also plays always the transient in the blood. Factors for the coagulation or a clotting of blood are also present in the plasma in the inactive forms. Plasma without clotting factor is called as a serum. Okay, wait. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಬರ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ, whenever the clotting factors are there in the plasma and those are present in inactive forms, inactive form na irtave, when injury is going to happen or a blood flow ಆಗ್ತೈತಂದ್ರೆ they are going to activate with the different kinds of enzymes. And what is going to happen? The plasma, what I am going to write here, plasma without, okay, clotting factors. What I written on the board? The plasma without the clotting factors. Clotting factors. Plasma without clotting factor is called as serum. Is called serum. This is very important. What is serum? Serum, C-R-U-M. Serum in the sense what? The plasma without clotting factor is called as a serum. The plasma without clotting factor is called as a serum. Okay. So this is about the today's class. In today's class we are discussing now. We have discussed the still phospho blood. Blood, it is a special kind of connective tissue which is consist of fluid matrix, plasma and formed element. And here we are discussed about the plasma. Plasma, it is considered 55% of the blood, right? And Plasma is a straw colored viscous fluid. Plasma consists of 90 to 90% of water, 6 to 8% of protein, small amount of minerals like Na plus, Ca plus plus, Mg plus, etc. And also it consists of the glucose, amino acids and lipids. What are the major proteins which are found in a plasma in the sense? Fibrinogen, albumin and albumin means fibrinogen, globulin, albumin. Fibrinogen which is helpful in a blood clotting mechanism. Globulin it is involved in a what? Defense mechanism. Albumin it is plays an important role in osmotic balance maintaining. And whatever the blood clotting factors are there which are present in a plasma, those are in the form of inactive form. And the plasma without the clotting factor, it is called as serum. Okay, I'll stop here and we'll continue the formed element in the next class. Thank you.